Hello, this is Mrs. Barnett. I'm going to go over your Chapter 4 team test with you. Hopefully that way you can understand what you did wrong in the team test and you will be well prepared for our individual test that is right around the corner. So the first thing I have is, what is the value of the expression 2 less than the quotient of 18 and x? I know that quotient means the answer to a division problem. I also have when x equals 3. So instead of putting x, I'm going to put 3. All right, so the quotient of 18 and x, so I have 18 divided by 3 minus 2. And then I just solve. 18 divided by 3 is 6 minus 2. And then 6 minus 2 is 4. My final answer is 4. A lot of times with these problems, it's just breaking down the pieces and writing it out. Number 2. What is the value of the expression, the product? That is the answer to a multiplication problem of 5 and the difference, subtraction, of x and 4 when x equals 6. So this is going to be a 6. All right, so I have the product of 5 and the difference of x and 4. 5 times 6 minus 4. I need to do the 6 minus 4 first, so 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. The answer is 10. All right, now on to problem number 3. Jewel has 6 cans of apple juice in her ice chest. Each can holds X fluid ounces of juice. Okay, she also has 2 cans of ginger ale, which each hold Y fluid ounces. Write an expression that would indicate the total fluid ounces. So 6 cans, which each hold X. So that the apple juice is 6X. All right, then I'm going to look at the 2 cans of ginger ale, which is Y. So plus 2y. So I've got my apple juice plus my ginger ale equals the total fluid ounces. So that is how we write the expression for this problem. Problem 4 is kind of a continuation of problem 3. So I'm going to go ahead and write my expression for this problem, which is 6x plus 2y. So it's the same problem. Jewel has 6 cans of apple juice in her ice chest. Each can holds X fluid ounces. She also has 2 cans of ginger ale, which each hold Y ounces. What are they asking me to do now? Evaluate the expression of question 3 for X equals 4, Y equals 16. All right, so I'm just going to plug the numbers in. I've got 6 times 4 plus 2 times 16. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 2 times 16 is 32. I just happen to know that. If you didn't know that, you could just add 16 and 16. And then 4 plus 2 is 6, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So when x is 4 and y is 16, my answer is 56. All right, we now have problem number 5. Indicate if the expression is equivalent equal to 6z plus 18 by answering yes or no. How will I know if it's 6z plus 18? I will simply solve the problem. So right here, I've got 6 times z plus 3. all I'm going to do is distribute the 6. So 6 times z is 6z plus 6 times 3 is 18. So my answer is yes, it is equivalent to 6z plus 18. We're going to continue on through these problems. We're just going to be doing the same thing. They all have the same indicate if the expression is equivalent to 6z plus 18, and I'm going to find that out by solving the problems. So again, I'm going to distribute this 6, but this time it's a 6z. So 6z times z is actually 6z squared plus 6 times 3 is 6z times 3 is 18z. So no, this is not equal to that. Moving on to problem 7, indicate if the expression is equivalent to 6z plus 18. Again, we're going to distribute the 3 this time. 3 times 3z is 9z plus, well, 15 plus 15 plus 15, 15 times 3 is 45. That is not equal to that, so no. Problem number 8, indicate if the expression is equivalent. Again, let's go ahead and distribute the 3. 3 times 2z is 6z plus 3 times 6 is 18. Oh, look, they're the same. So yes, they are equivalent, equal. All right, so this one is a little bit different than things that we have typically been working with. You have decided on a rectangular garden. So I'm gonna actually draw this. I've got my rectangular garden where the length will be 2 times the width. So even though it doesn't make sense, I'm going to write that the width is right here, which is a W, even though it's longer, and then my length here is 2W. So what is this side? Well, this side is also W. What is this side? This side is also 2W because it is a rectangle. So then I have 2W plus 2W plus W plus W. Because to find the perimeter, what do? I add all the sides. Well, I actually know that I can combine all of these. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So my answer would be 6W. Just so you know, if you were to get any version, if you had this as your answer, that would be correct as well. But my preference would be if you did the 6W. All right, problem number 10. Craig purchases 7 Minecraft t-shirts. Each t-shirt costs the same amount of money. Write an expression that could be used to find the total amount spent if each t-shirt costs C dollars. And he pays $3 sales tax. So he has 7 t-shirts that cost C dollars plus the sales tax. So you can do 7 times C. You could do C plus C plus C plus C plus C. Oh, how many more? 2 more. Plus C plus C plus 3. But who wants to do that? Personally, I would just write 7C plus $3. All right. Each of these C's represents the price of the Minecraft t-shirt. Moving on to problem 11. Last Friday, Bella and Sydney went to Dairy Queen. Write an expression showing how much they spent together if Bella spent $3.78 and Sydney spent D dollars. Well, how much did they spend together? We're just going to add those together. So I have Sydney, who has D, so D plus Bella spent $378, $378. All right. In addition, order doesn't matter, so it could also be $378 plus D. Either of those is correct. All right. Let's move on to problem 12. Kira walked to the Mount Shasta Mall, which took her M minutes. Then she hiked to the Reading Civic Center to watch a concert. Write an expression showing the total time she hiked if it took her 3 times as long to hike to the Reading Civic as to the Mount Shasta Mall. Well, I know for the Mount Shasta Mall, that took her M. That was the distance M, right? But she continued walking, and it was 3 times as long as to the Mount Shasta Mall. So that would be 3 times M, 3M. But what is the problem asking? Let's see, the total time. So the total time is 3M plus M. I like to combine those, so I'm going to have my final answer be 4M. All right, for problem 13, it says, which is greater, 4.14 times 0.4 or 4.14 divided by 0.4. All right, you can either write out these problems, solve them, and see which one is bigger, or you can make a note to yourself. Multiplying by decimal makes smaller. Dividing by decimal makes bigger. This is an interesting rule. It's something that you can either remember or you will need to take the time to solve these problems each time. So, which is greater? It is 4.14 divided by 0.4. That one is greater. All right, problem 14. Dylan can buy gummy worms in packages of 5 each. He can buy gummy sharks in packages of 3 each, and gummy fish in packages of 10 each. How many packages of each type must he buy in order to have the same amount of each animal? Well, this is an LCM problem, least common multiple, in disguise. So I'm going to list the multiples for worms: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right, and then I have the gummy sharks, so that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. All right, and then we're going to list the multiples of fish, which are 10 each, 10, 20, 30. All right, least common multiple. So I knew that if I did the fish, 10, 20, 30. All right, are there any 20s? There are 10s between the worms and the fish, but there's no 10 with the sharks. Is there any 20s? Oh, again, the worms and the fish both have 20, but the sharks do not. The first one that all 3 of them have is the 30. But that's not what it's asking. So I know that the least common multiple is 30. But then I have to ask myself, okay, for the gummy worms, 5 times what? 5 times what equals 30, right? 3 times what equals 30? And lastly, 10 times what equals 30? All right, well, 5 times 6 equals 30, so I would need 6 packages of gummy worms. 3 times 10 is 30. That's how many packages of gummy sharks I would need. And then 10 times 3 is 30. And that is how you break down this problem in order to find the solution. All right, moving on to problem 15. In the Hunger Games, District 12 is known for its coal mines. The deepest coal mine within District 12 is negative 356 feet. In contrast, the elevation in District 7 is 4,388 feet above sea level. How many feet higher is District 7 than the deepest coal mine in District 12? So I'm just going to draw my little number line here. Up here I have 4,388 feet. Right here I have 0, and then over here I have 356. All right, I need to do the distance from 0, which is 356, and the distance from 0, which is 4,388. So even though this says negative 356, it's the absolute value of negative 356 and the absolute value of 4,388, which means I'm going to add them together. So I've got 4,388 and 356. 6 plus 8 is 14. 8 plus 5 is 13, plus 1 is 14. 3 and 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Bring down the 4. So we have 4,744. Look, they gave me a label, feet. All right, problem 16. The letters A, B, C, and D represent integers on a number line. Drag and drop the letters and number onto the number line based on the following being true. So when you take this test on EDMS, you're actually going to take these numbers and drag them over here to our number line. So I know that on my number line, I'm going to have, let's see, point A is going to be to the left of point C. Okay. Then 0, C. All right, then I'm going to look at this one where C is less than 0, which means that 0 is going to be over here. And then I have B is greater than 0, so B is going to be over here. And then D is greater than B, which means that D is here. So when I draw this in, it is A, C, 0, B, D. Moving on to problem 17. Use the number line to determine how many points represent numbers greater than 1. Or negative 1. So negative 1 on the number line is right here. How many points are greater than that? Well, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So that is 4 points. 4 points are greater than negative 1. Problem 18. The map of Disneyland has been transformed to a coordinate grid with the center located at 0, 0. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my grid here. And each whole number distance representing 1 block. You are standing in front of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, which has coordinates at -5, 4. So -5, 1, 3, 4, 5, and then positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So about there. Pirates of the Caribbean. You want to meet up with Tinkerbell, who is 10 blocks east. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a little compass for myself. North, south, okay? And I know the order because of my little thing that I always say. I always say never eat sour watermelons. So now I have a compass. You want to meet up with Tinkerbell, who is 10 blocks east. So I'm going 10 this way. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so that would be about there. And 2 blocks north. So I've got to go up 2. All right. So my y coordinate, so I've got -5, and I'm adding 10 blocks. Ooh, scratch that. It's not absolute value. I've got -5. I'm at -5, and I'm going 10 blocks east. All right, so that's positive 10. So -5 plus 10 equals positive 5. So that is my x coordinate. My y coordinate is 4. North would be positive 2 blocks. So that would be 6. So what are the coordinates of where Tinkerbell is located? 5, 6. All right, problem 19. Greg Heffley made a box plot on his science quiz scores. His box plot is shown below. Which of the following sets of data could be Greg's actual scores? All right, so I'm going to look at A. A, the lowest number is 75. On my graph here, the lowest number is 70. So immediately, it can't be A. B has the lowest score of 70. It does have a 75 here. 85's in the range, 90's in the range, 100's in the range, so it could possibly be B. All right, now I'm going to look at C. 65. Well, 65 is over here. That is off the graph, so it can't be C. Order, so process of elimination, it is B. My answer is B. Problem 21. Nevaeh sold 70% of 40 boxes of candy she is selling to raise money for the girls' basketball team. How many does she have left to sell? How many does she have left? So she has 30% left. So I need to find out what 30% is of 40. So typically, when I'm doing a percentage problem, I'll write the 100%, I'll write the 10%, and I'll write the 1%, because most of the time, if I know those, I can build anything. So my 100% is 40. To find the 10%, I move the decimal over 1, which is 4. And to find the 1%, I move the decimal over again, which is 0.4, or 4/10. So if I'm trying to get 30%, I'm just going to do my 10% 3 times. So 10% 4, another 10% 4, and another 10% 4. A lot of you would just multiply by 3. That equals 12. She has 12 boxes left to sell. All right, problem 22. We are going to find the area of the trapezoid. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw an imaginary rectangle and find the area of that, which would be 8 times 10 equals 80 meters squared. So that's how big it would be if I looked at this whole rectangle. Now, all I need to do is subtract this triangle right here. Okay, so I know that this is 8. How can I find this missing side? Well, I know that the total is 10. So I'm going to take 10, I'm going to subtract the side I know, which is 4, that equals 6. So I've got 8 and 6 now. So 8 times 6 equals, which equals 48 meters squared. And then just going to subtract the difference. 10 is 2, 7 minus 4 is 3. Oh wait, I made a mistake. Scratch that. We're going to go back a little ways. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I've got, 8 times 6, that would be the square. I have to divide that by 2. 48 divided by 2 is 24. So I'm actually going to do 80 minus 24. 0 minus 4, I'm going to borrow from the 8. That becomes a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. 7 minus 2 is 5. And I get my answer, 56 meters squared. Squared because it is area. So I know that I went through these problems a little quick. I had to pause a few times. It was a busy day for us all. So hopefully this will help you have a better understanding of how to be successful on our test.